Excuse me on the tier. Been a long road.
So, excuse me on the tier. This is James with an interview with Jamie Maddox from Salinas Valley. How you doing today, Jamie?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing very good. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. I think today what we had on the agenda was we were going to play um, a segment of the Powder Sagas, in which Powder talks about an incident at Calipat. So I'm going to run that tape right now. We're going to listen to a little bit.
Okay.
Take you and show you to where your people are at, where your tables are at. And as you're walking, you have to be very careful.
Look in the
You have to
camera,
be
please.
very careful of bumping into people. You have to be very careful of crossing boundaries into other people's territories. There's rules to this. You're not allowed to cross them or you'll be disciplined. So once you get to your table and once you get to your area, someone's going to inform you of where you're allowed to go and where you're not allowed to go. These pull-up bars are ours. Those pull-up bars are theirs. That way you're not using other races' exercise equipment. It's not.
So that right there, that's I believe Powder has just got to Calipatria. He just got situated on the yard, and he he's getting ready to introduce you.
Do that. This is a level 4 prison, extreme politics. You have to have respect at all times. That's the way it is. That's the way they train you. Then they'll pull you to the side. And usually it's the person who has the yard. And at this time, it was an individual named Jamie Maddox from Fresno. Jamie Maddox from Fresno, he had that yard because he was piffed up. He was juiced up. He was just a regular wood, but he stood about 5'10". He had a bald head, goatee, and he was mean. And he had LWOP. He had nothing to lose. Life without the possibility of parole. And he got plugged.
Okay, so
Dude.
uh there, that's Powder. That's Powder. That Powder was an impressionable young kid. He got on this yard and he met you, and I guess it was a pretty intimidating thing. You had a pretty large uh presence at that time. So would you agree with? Would you kind of agree with everything he's saying so far?
Yeah, but I could see how he would look at me that way at that time. I never felt that way. Like I was just trying to, I was trying to get through life and do it without getting it right. So the race is the only way to do that is to keep our own race in line.
Okay.
And when I got to, okay, I just needed to know when I got to that yard, a dude had the yard who was just not doing well. And I just happened to come into some drama where he just, long story short, I took the yard.
Okay.
And I made it.
Okay. Right. So we're going to continue with the tape.
At this time, he had major juice. At this time, he had major juice with the AD leadership. And that's who gave Jamie the yard. Jamie was plugged in with this dude. You could not even touch this dude, Jamie, without him. If he felt the need to, he could put you in the hat. He could get you green lighted in a second. All it would take is one kite or one letter to his boy, and you're through. That's a fact. So
Okay, so I can see that you're kind of shaking your head. What's going on?
Let me just, you see why I'm shaking my head? Because your show needs to be about truth, only truth. And I'm with truth. And I won't lie to you or the world on what I have. And what I have will not be about anything here. It will be about the past. This kid, I made an impression on him. But at that time, I did have juice, okay? But I didn't use it in a bad way, and I couldn't have people taken out and shit like that. Like, I wasn't that. I was just trying to maintain where I was at. That's it. I never put them on a mission. I never put anybody on a mission. I would go do it myself before I even asked somebody to do it, until people would actually do it before me because they had love and respect and honor. And
yeah. Let's run a little bit more of this tape. So I want you to be able to hear everything, then respond. All right.
Jamie Maddox was pushing a hard line. Only problem is with Jamie Maddox is he was a real bad dope fiend. He had a really, really, really bad drug habit. Probably some of the worst that I've ever seen. But he wasn't a Christian. Maddox. So he was already physically dependent on it. And when you're in charge, anytime you're in a leadership position, especially any leadership position I've ever been in, never do drugs. You run those positions while you're sober because your thinking is off, just like his thinking was off. He was so caught up in being strung out on heroin, lost his way. Next thing you
So,
Okay, so let me just put this out there. He's full of shit. Number one. Number two, USAS were green lighted. All right. My cousin was USAS. All right. United, I can't remember the fucking spot. A skinhead gang went against the brand were green lighted by the.
it's United Society of Aryan Skinheads.
Thank you. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I was always a wood. Okay, so they were all put in the hole for their safety in the investigative unit. All right. I knew they were going to get kicked in my yard, and I knew I had to allow things to play out where my own family, my brother, was going to get stabbed. I didn't. I brought everybody to the table. I wasn't going to be a part of it, but I told them to handle it.
Are you going to be able to?
Are you
going to be able to? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go back. I put the money just in case somebody tries to.
All right.
So I want to finish this part. So yeah, I went hard in the paint on some heroin. I did do heroin, but I wasn't a strong doping addict who couldn't make decisions, or I would never have that position. So one day before they came out of the hole, I got word through via a letter that they were no longer green lighted and to keep them at arm's distance. Well, by then I was $600 in debt. I set a $200 limit. P and I got word of it, and they were like, "Jamie, you got to go in the cell with two dudes and just hands because you got you're as a shot caller. You put a $200 limit and you tripled it, right? So that it's hard candy. Go and take a whacking, and if you go $1 over the limit, I'll cut your fucking head off." That's exactly what the fuck happened. So this kid is fucking distorted on his little fucking life. You know that's what's real. That's real shit. And you can run a make on all of it. That happened.
his addiction took over, and he's in debt to other races while he has the yard. Now, let me tell you something. Nobody is exempt from these woodpile politics. Nobody is exempt from owing other races and not being able to pay them without consequence. So there was a lot of commotion and controversy going on at this time when these other races, and he owed the blacks, he especially owed the blacks a lot of money, and that is frowned upon the most. And me, I'm just a youngster sitting there absorbing this, and I'm taking this all in, and all the respect that I had for this dude, I was losing it. But like I said,
Go ahead.
So the foremost, I didn't know any blacks. It's a no-no to fucking get in debt with black or even do business with blacks on the main line. Let's get that out of the way. I owed one Hispanic Southsider who I owed him $600. My wife, unfortunately, I was a drug addict. She sent like $1,000 a month, right? And this time when I called her and asked her to bail me out, she's like, "You're on your own. I can't do it." So I went to someone who I thought was a friend, Chris something, who also had a lot of money, and I asked him to spot me $600, and I pay him back. No one, as you know, in prison, when you owe money, most of the time it'll come out from other people. I brought my own issue up to people who I thought were close to me because it was an issue, and only because this is not an excuse. Yes, I was a heroin addict, all right, but I was gonna have to whack my own cousin, and I don't know how the fuck I was gonna do that, so I went hard in the paint.
beginning of this story, you meet some crazy sons of bitch place. You meet some horrific ass people, treacherous ass people. And so during the midst of all this controversy, this dude, Jamie, decided to set tone and lead by example. And this is what he did. And I know this for a fact because I've seen it. I was there. And it was horrible. So he was in the same building as me, and he's going around looking for brand new razor blades. Not the ones that the state gives you, but the ones that you get like out of the store or out of your package. The ones that are extremely sharp. And he goes and he makes himself a tomahawk. But not just your average tomahawk. This freaking tomahawk had so many blades on it that it looked like a box cutter by the time he was done with it.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Unbelievable, dude. First and foremost, for right now, up to right now, I and my cousin, who is now out, have lived by lying the lie of saying, okay, let's just back up a little bit. In prison, when you get whacked for doing something wrong, if you're a real man, you're gonna go heal up and do your time or whatever, come out, and then you will clean up. And the cleanup is now you have to be on deck to whack somebody. All right, let's get that straight. My cousin got whacked in Corcoran Shoe for hitting that wood that didn't have it coming. He owed to clean up. So I said, look, as I said earlier, I told this individual, which you can run makes on all this shit. I told this individual who told me I had to go for the cell with two people. I said, fuck that. I'm going to take a whacking. And my cousin's going to whack me because he owes a cleanup. So I was going to do two birds in one stone. However, when we got in the cell, my cousin, he just couldn't bring himself to cut me, man. So I cut myself with one fucking razor. All right, but I went deep.
In his cell, and he whacked himself across the chest.
Can we?
His chest.
Can you see it?
Not once, but twice. He carved on it. So he was blick.
Are you able to show us the scar? Can you kind of stand up so we can see? Show us where it's at. Show us how you did it.
Okay, look, there's a fucking scar that goes down my fucking right chest right here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
You did?
Yeah.
I had a tattoo over. Yeah. Big scar. It was right there. There it is.
Show us how you did it.
Like that, right? And it went way too, but it's downward. But it went so fucking deep that it laid open.
Yeah.
My cousin had to stitch me up.
And
I stayed stitched up. I stitched up for a week. My cousin fucking had my job. But just keep in mind, look, when this happened, within weeks, a white Crip showed up and we whacked them and it kicked off a riot. And that was it. The fucking place blew up and I never saw my cousin again. I never saw punk ass. Well, I did see punk ass Powder, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But look.
Out up there. Came out the next day showing everybody, showing the wood pile, this nasty scar that he just put on his body. Who is psychotic enough to whack their self and come out there and broadcast it to everybody like it was some sort of trophy? This is what kind of stuff was going on. This is how crazy people are in prison. I'm just a little youngster. I'm sitting back and I'm going, bro, that's crazy. How did you have the ability to make your own weapon? Look yourself in the mirror. I asked him that too. I asked him straight up. I said, hey, Jamie, let me ask you a question, bro. Now my respect for him that I lost, I wasn't sure if it was back or how I felt, if I respected this guy, if I didn't respect this guy. All I know is this dude was crazy because I couldn't do it to myself. I don't know anybody that was willing to do that to themselves. They actually take a blade and run it across your chest. I've never seen, to this day, I've never seen a razor scar that was nastier than that. And he did it to himself. He inflicted it upon himself. And he told me this. He said, Potter, this is what I did. I was so ashamed and I was so mad about letting you guys down. And the example that I was setting, I had no choice.
This call and your telephone number.
Okay. I can see this is getting you, and this is not a smear campaign. Well, this, I don't think, I you know what, because this is what had me contact you, right? Is because I was like, dang, man, that's some serious stuff. I happen to have a scar on my arm right here where I was in the cell with Roy Corbett and we both cut ourselves.
Okay, so I need you to know this. Me and my cousin told everybody that he did it. In fact, Animal from Peni was like, Jamie, I know you cut yourself. I'm like, nah, man, my cousin did it. Like, and to this day, till right fucking now, I've never admitted that I did that to myself. To that little punk kid. I never admitted it.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, I know you're getting upset about this, but I'm trying to look at it because this, let's say you're in the wood pile, you're a young kid, you meet Jamie Maddox, you look up to this guy, it's this and that. You're bigger than life to this kid's eyes. So as this is happening, he's seeing this, he's going through this, whether it was this way or that way or whatever, that's kind of irrelevant, right? it's a big story because there are a lot of elements to it, and then even like you and I, we're on this immense trip, right? There's many things, and these things happen every single day in prison, every single day.
Poor James.
All right.
What has me hot is that he's fucking delusional. That's what has me hot. That the world is listening to this dude tell these lies, and he got paid for these fucking lies. And I was walking a yard with him just 2 years ago, and he had said this shit. I didn't even know it. I understand that a lot of it's like way out. Yeah, I was a fucking bad I was a fucking jock caller.
When
my decision making it was probably blurred a little bit because I got high a lot. No, I get that, but I still did the right. I never fucking had anybody taken out who didn't have it coming, and I always put in work myself. Like he said, I used 5 fucking razors. I'm gonna shoot you a picture about this. My righteous chest with 1 razor marked down it, man. 1 razor, and it just breaks my heart that he said these fucking lies, man.
Well, so if I can just I kind of like there's no real way of knowing whether it's 5 razors, 1 razor, whether you owe the black.
He said I whacked myself twice, right?
No,
twice. So
okay, and I'm not trying to take sides here, whatever. But what I heard him say is you went around the building looking for razors.
Like,
okay, all right.
Well, there's people who are still walking today who are there who can verify that's a goddamn lie.
Okay, but okay, so I'm not really trying to what I'm trying to represent is why this stuff happens in prison. How does it exactly if it was 1 razor or 5, or if I had a black dude or a Mexican dude, to me that's irrelevant. To me, you still have a scar on your chest, right?
Yeah.
That there was some question of whether your cousin did it or you did it. You're clearing that up. You have the scar on your chest. I'm still looking at it. I'm still looking at it because I'm reverent to you too. I look up to you too. I respect you too. I know you're a dangerous man, right? I know you're amongst dangerous men. I know Powder's a dangerous man. I know on any given.
Powder's a bitch. We jumped him 2 years ago. He's a bitch. He ran. Right when I punched him, Jamie, but he ran like a little bitch. He's not a dangerous man. He's a punk. Straight up.
I know whatever side of the situation you're on in this, whether you're the perpetrator, the victim, an onlooker, a family member, a friend, this whole stuff affects everybody involved. This affected your cousin, your cousin's wife, his family, your friends, your community, everybody on the yard, Powder's friends, family, everything. I'm saying at certain times you could either be the victim or the perpetrator. You've been both, and sometimes the perpetrator that becomes victim, right? I'm not so worried about the particulars of this, that, the other. These are perceptions. This is how somebody sees something. I think that Powder looks up to you. I think that Powder, he was questioning his.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You're right. He does look up to me because I met him just 2 years ago, and he was like, Jamie, you're fucking everything. And people were like, Jamie, now, people wouldn't even believe I was a fucking shot caller on several fucking yards because I'm a different man now, right? I'm still dangerous as the motherfucker can be, but I'm not that man anymore. And so when I saw him, he did look up to me, and he was in awe, And when I took off on him, it fucking freaked him out. But he had it coming. I know we'll get to that later, but I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of moving parts in this, and that's not the part of whether right or wrong. But he's making me out to be some fucking loser, fucking dope piece of shit, and I wasn't. Man.
That's how everybody looks at us. That's how when we show this, they're gonna say you're a lying piece of shit. I'm a lying piece of shit. He's a lying piece of shit.
Still walk around who were there, so they know their truth. Animal from Peanut, that's a good fucking dude, man. And I'll tell you what. I hit a yard with him afterward. That's why we were active back then. We walked the line, and he told me like, "Hey, I was part of whacking your cousin. If you want to strap up and go to the corner, we can." He said, "But I'm a Christian now, man. I'm trying." And he's out of prison now, by the way. He's a good man, and I respected that.
Okay, we're gonna get back. I want to finish the story with Powder, but what I want you to see, what I'm trying to see what I'm trying to show is in a given situation, you could be in the other situation. Somebody watching this and truth, and okay, we can say truth, but we're coming across authentic and real. So I'm saying if powder comes, I'm not trying to get in between you and powder or cause something. I'm trying to work in amends like you and I are. Because if you and powder can get along, then maybe we can introduce Sonic and you and Sonic can get along. Because it was all it's all it's all so but within the wood pile and the way it is business. This is business. This is how some kid perceived this coming through the system when you got sins of life without the parole with that 19 years old. You're a kid.
Yeah.
You were so I'm just trying to offer. I'm trying to offer. If you want to get mad and everything, it's cool. Then we can talk about how we get past that anger and we get into compassion and then we begin to change our lives, right?
If, may I please?
Yeah.
For one moment. It's been very rough. Very rough. But it won't break me. Nothing will fucking break me. Not anybody. Not what happened with you. Not anything. I'm stronger than most. And I'll always be stronger than most. And with that said, to when I've had so hard times to survive, to have money, to live, kids making money off lies, and that's what has me so fucking irritated that the world has watched. They've watched this and they believe that I've done these things, and they're not true, right? They're not true, man. I was a good man. I've always been a good man. I've never been scandalous. I didn't have people whack you. Didn't have it coming. All that. And for him to say like I was just a scandalous fucking dope fiend, I ran around and got 5 razors and said, I'm going to do this for the wood pile. Give me a fucking break, man. You know, give me a fucking break. I understand your dialogue and I love you, James. As a man who fucking cut my goddamn throat, I love you because the way you did it, you did it. You know, my point is, there is healing dialogue, but there will never, ever be healing dialogue between me and Powder, period.
All right.
In the example that I was setting, I had no choice.
Enter telephone number.
Could have let 2 dudes, matter of fact, I could have ordered 2 dudes to get on me, to stab me, or whatever. But I wanted to me, was one of the craziest things I had ever seen in my life. And I remember when he came out the very next day afterwards, the wound was still fresh, but he didn't care. He was a G like that. So he came out there because he wanted to show everybody. It really hurt him deeply that him being in a leadership position, if he didn't have enough self-control to be able to maintain his addiction, and he felt that he failed us. He felt that he failed every single one of his partners and every one of us active right men because he was the captain of the ship. And you're supposed to be the one that's leading by example. And he felt that way. And he came out there, and I didn't know what I felt. I had lost respect for him. And now I'm looking at him. The only thing that I didn't know was
This call and your telephone number turned and recorded.
is that he was a crazy ass dude. And I remember specifically pulling him up and I say, hey, Jamie, what made you do this? And he looked at me and he said, check this out, Powder. I could have had 2 dudes come get me. I could have ordered 2 dudes to come put holes in me, beat me up in front of everybody. But I thought that it was a lot crazier. I wanted to show everybody what kind of crazy motherfucker I am. So I decided to do it myself. And I remember when I was young.
So to me, Jamie, he really looks up to you, and to me, I like knowing you and knowing who you are, knowing how strong you are, right? I'm saying that I think even to this day, this dude looks up to you, and so and likewise with me, like I've led a troubled past as well, right? And at some point we change, and there's some and we take those strengths with us. I don't think that I don't think Powder's smarting you up. I don't think Powder. I don't think when that's why I reached out to you. I said no. I need to talk to him. This sounds like a lot. This is a heavy. I cut myself too, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand. Go ahead.
I set a $200 drug limit for the white man, and I tripled it. And therefore, I was going to take a whacking. And when my cousin didn't do it, I did it. That's it. I couldn't even move. I could not get out of bed for a week, give it up. But when that razor hit my skin and I didn't realize how soft it was like fucking fatty. It ripped open, homeboy. And I'm laying there and I'm going, is it that cousin? He's fucking white. He's white, homeboy. And I said, stitch it up. Stitch it up. I didn't go to medical. I could not move from my bed. Versus the stitches were popping out, homeboy. I was leaking bad. Like I don't have like normal men have all that muscle shit right there. So for this kid, I understand your point. What you're saying is he has respect for it, but he's lying.
I didn't necessarily, I was confused on how to feel about that. I wasn't sure if it was a cowardice act and it was just a way to get off the hook and not having two dudes just ram you into the dirt, or if it really was a brave move that put himself back into good standings with us, if that was a redeemable, really figure it out. So what I did was, I remember this. I was brand new to prison, so I'm trying to learn everything, and I'm just tripping off this whole situation. I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of it again. I've been down for 20 years. So what I did is I went and made me a little razor blade, and I stood there in front of the mirror, and I looked at myself and thought to myself, do I have the ability to be able to do it to myself? Absolutely not. So it does take a certain kind of person to be able to do that and then come out there with all that shame and all that guilt and be able to come out there and admit your faults and take accountability for your actions. And I'm sitting here just absorbing everything. And I'm strapped to the floor and I'm looking around and I just tripping out on how I come to prison and the dude who has the yard just whacked himself. And there was a lot of controversy on top of that too. And one of my older homeboys was there that I used to idolize. It was Animal, PDS. Standing about 6'4", bald head, goatee, PDS across his throat, Mr. Mike McMillan, one of the dudes that I used to idolize and look up to. And I looked at Animal and I'm like, hey, is this justified right here? And he was like,
what do you think Animal said?
Well, okay. Animal, I bumped heads from day one. He's peanut. He thinks he's the alpha male. I'm the alpha male, all right? You hit my yard, right? We almost took Animal out one day because he left a big old shit in the toilet when they made a move, right? We were going to take him out for that. We made a call not to, and I still stick by it, right? But I think Animal says that I did the right thing. But Animal accused me from that day on. Keep in mind, I had to go up in a cell with two. Animal is the one who told me I had to go up in a cell with two people, all right? I'm the one who said, fuck that, I'll take a whack. After everything was said and done, Animal accused me of doing it myself, and I denied it. I said, fuck no, my cousin did it. So to this day, so right now, I've never admitted that I did it myself. And yeah, it took a lot to do that to myself, but I did let my people down, and I did let myself down.
Yeah, because I mean, because you know, it was such a fantastic. I mean, you know, obviously, I was like listening for the little details and this and that, but I mean, Jamie, it's like you've been through a lot, bro, right? And you're still, look at you. You're like, we just seen you a couple weeks ago with the black guy, right? A couple months ago. Look at you now, like, and we heal and stuff like that. And I'm saying, like, in order for a proper amends to happen with me and you and other similar situations, I'm saying, here's this kid Powder. He don't fucking know. He's a kid. He's bright-eyed bushy-tailed. He's watching everything just like me, just like you. You know,
Right.
If you want, you can free up the kiosk and you can call me back on the phone.
It sounds good. Other people need to use this anyway, and I have respect for other people.
Hey, good job, bro. Call me back on the phone, and
you know.
no, it's good. You look good. You look good. You're sounding good.
Thank you on the team.